Welcome, everyone. Ready to dive deep into renewable energy and blockchain tech? We're talking about the EGO protocol, and get this, it combines these two worlds with the goal of reshaping how we think about energy, maybe even money itself.
Sounds ambitious.
Oh, it is, trust me. And the mind behind it, Alexandru Maris, also known as Lex Maris, is quite the fascinating figure, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. His background itself is a story spanning IT, AI, sales, and even a company he founded, Friday Corp SRL, all about AI-powered solutions.
Talk about a diverse skill set, right? But hold on, it gets even more interesting. Lex is also currently working towards a degree in, get this, ecology and environmental protection.
Now, that's a combination you don't see every day. It clearly shows a commitment that goes beyond just tech for the sake of tech. This is about using tech to create a more sustainable future.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So let's get to the heart of it. What is this EGO protocol or energy generation opportunities all about? In a nutshell, it aims to encourage us all to adopt renewable energy. And it does this by rewarding energy production, but with a twist.
A twist, huh?
You bet. The reward is a unique currency based on blockchain technology.
Hold on, so you're saying energy itself becomes a form of currency?
That's exactly what we're diving into. But before we get into the how, let's understand why Lex believes this is so important, even necessary. So let me ask you, what are your thoughts on our current monetary systems? What are their biggest flaws?
Well, where do we even begin? We're talking about inflation, of course, centralized control, resources not being allocated properly, and a huge negative impact on the environment. All pretty significant challenges. Now, the EGO protocol isn't about scrapping these systems completely.
Right. It's not about starting from scratch. It's more like an upgrade.
Exactly. It's about offering a solution that works alongside existing systems, but tackles these inherent weaknesses head on.
Okay, so that makes sense. But how does energy specifically address these issues? What makes it different from, say, the traditional money we're used to?
That's a great question. You see, unlike fiat currency, energy has what we call intrinsic value. It's the very foundation of everything we do.
We can't live without it, literally.
Exactly. And what Lex argues is that by tying our currency to energy, to something so essential, you create a system that's inherently stable. It's a hedge against those wild fluctuations we see in traditional markets, and let's be honest, sometimes even the decisions made by governments.
So it's like a gold standard, but instead of gold, it's sunshine.
I like that analogy. It captures the essence of it. And the EGO protocol is designed in a way that it meets all the criteria of what makes a currency functional. We're talking about acceptability, portability, being able to divide it into smaller units, uniformity, a limited supply, fungibility, and recognizability.
Those are some big words right there.
Yeah, but they boil down to this.
Mm.
We're not just talking about some digital tokens floating around in cyberspace. This is about creating a tangible foundation for economic activity, something real and connected to the world we live in.
It's definitely a bold vision, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Energy as currency, who would have thought? But okay, let's talk tech. How does blockchain, this technology we hear so much about, how does that fit into the EGO protocol?
Blockchain technology is actually the backbone of the entire system. It ensures that all energy transactions happening within the EGO protocol are completely transparent and can't be tampered with. Think of it like an unchangeable digital ledger, meticulously recording every single unit of energy produced, every transaction made.
So it's like a super secure, super detailed record-keeping system.
That's a good way to put it. And because it's decentralized and distributed across the network, there's no single point of failure or control. It's about as tamper-proof as you can get.
Okay, that makes sense. No room for shady dealings then. But here's what's been bugging me. Most blockchains out there, they need massive amounts of energy just to run, right? Doesn't that seem a bit counterintuitive, especially for a system that's supposed to promote renewable energy?
You're absolutely right to point that out. And this is where the EGO protocol takes a truly innovative turn. They've developed a new type of consensus algorithm, the process, that keeps the blockchain secure and running smoothly. And they call it proof of energy generation, or PoEG for short.
PoEG. All right, I'm all ears. Tell me more about this PoEG thing. What makes it so different from the, let's call them, energy-guzzling proof-of-work systems we usually hear about?
Okay, so with PoEG, they've completely flipped the script. Instead of needing all that massive computing power, it leverages the production of renewable energy itself for validation. Think about that for a moment. Generating clean energy actually powers the blockchain, keeps it running.
That's pretty ingenious. So the more clean energy we produce, the stronger, more robust the system becomes.
You got it. It beautifully aligns the entire system with the goals of sustainability and environmental responsibility. But I know it can be a bit abstract, so let me take you a picture. Imagine our solar system. In this picture, the main node of the Ego blockchain, you can think of it as the sun right at the center, keeping track of the entire network. Then you have the planet nodes. Those represent all the participants in the network.
Okay, I'm picturing the sun and the planets. What about the energy? Where does that come in?
That's where the satellites come in. They represent the energy producers, like those with solar panels on their rooftops.
Ah, I see. So it's like a whole solar system blockchain.
Yeah.
But how does it work? How does it all come together?
Here's how it goes. Each satellite, or energy producer, reports how much energy they've generated to their assigned planet node. That data is then gathered, added up, and sent to the sun, our main node. And what does the sun do? It ranks all the planets based on how much energy they've contributed.
So in a way, it becomes a bit of a competition. Everyone wants to be the top energy-producing planet.
You could say that. The planet node with the highest contribution, they get this special privilege. They get to validate new transactions and add a brand new block to the blockchain.
Kind of like winning a prize for being the most sustainable planet.
That's a great way to think about it. And of course, for their efforts, they receive a reward, which is then distributed among all those energy producers, those satellites, who contributed to their planet's success.
So it creates this whole ecosystem where energy production is directly linked to the value and security of the whole network.
Exactly. And here's something really important to remember. The system is designed to only track the energy produced, not the energy consumed.
It makes sense. Otherwise, some might just try to use more to get ahead.
That's right. So it ensures a fair and balanced system where everyone has that incentive to contribute to a sustainable future rather than trying to game the system.
This is really incredible stuff. It seems like Alexandre Maris has really thought this through, every detail.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? He didn't stop there. There's a whole robust mathematical framework underlying the Ego protocol to ensure absolute precision and transparency in tracking all that energy production and rewarding the participants.
Okay, I'll admit math isn't my forte, but I trust it all adds up. What I'm really curious about is what this all means in the real world. Are we just talking about a new kind of money here? Or does the Ego protocol have even wider implications, applications beyond just currency?
That's a great question, and actually it's just the tip of the iceberg. The potential applications of the Ego protocol, they extend far beyond just being a new form of money.
Okay, now you've got me really intrigued. Tell me more. What else is possible with this Ego protocol?
Well, just imagine decentralized energy markets where individuals can buy and sell renewable energy directly from each other, cutting out the middleman entirely.
That would be revolutionary. No more relying on those big energy companies.
Exactly. And what about a system that can manage our energy surplus, ensuring everyone has a reliable and stable supply, even as we transition to more renewable sources, which can be a bit unpredictable at times?
It's like a smart energy grid that adapts to our needs in real time.
That's a great way to put it. And we can even think bigger. What about the possibility of a universal basic income, but one funded by energy production? Imagine that, everyone having access to basic income security just by contributing to a sustainable energy future.
That's a powerful idea, and it could help address so many of the economic challenges we face today.
It definitely has the potential. And that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
Think about energy subsidies that are actually transparent and efficient, businesses adopting more sustainable models, smart grids working seamlessly with all our devices, communities banding together for their own renewable energy projects, even carbon credits being tracked and traded with ease. The possibilities are truly vast.
This is seriously mind-blowing. We're not just talking about technology here. We're talking about changing how we view energy's role in our society, our economy, even our everyday lives.
Precisely. And that's what makes Alexandre Maris such a fascinating individual. He's not just a tech enthusiast. He's someone who truly understands the interconnectedness of energy, economics, and environmental sustainability.
It's inspiring to see someone not just talking about change, but actually building the systems that could lead us to a more sustainable future.
And that's exactly what makes the Ego protocol so compelling. It's not just another trendy tech startup. This is a project with the potential to reshape fundamentally how we value and interact with energy.
I'm totally captivated by this whole idea, and especially by Alexandre Mayers's vision. But before we go even deeper into the potential impact and real-world applications, let's take a moment to learn more about the man behind the Ego protocol. this visionary who dared to think differently.
I agree. He's a fascinating individual.
What are some key insights into his background and motivations that led him to create such a groundbreaking project?
Well, his background is incredibly diverse, right? We've talked about his experience in IT, AI, sales, and founding Friday Corp SRL, where he developed AI-powered solutions. That alone shows his technical skills and his entrepreneurial drive.
Absolutely. It paints a picture of someone who can not only imagine innovative solutions, but also bring them to life, build them, implement them. But you know what really strikes me is that he's currently pursuing a degree in ecology and environmental protection.
It's not just a hobby for him, is it? He's actively trying to learn more about the environmental challenges we're facing.
Exactly. It's like he's saying, hey, we've got all these amazing technological tools, but we need to use them responsibly, with a deep understanding of their impact on the planet.
And that's a message that resonates with a lot of investors these days. They're not just looking for profits. They want to support ventures that are making a positive impact. And let's be honest, the Ego protocol seems to tick all those boxes.
I was just thinking the same thing. This is a truly innovative idea with huge potential for growth and impact. It's perfectly aligned with the global shift towards renewable energy and the rising interest in blockchain technology.
Investors are always on the lookout for the next big thing, and the Ego protocol, with its ambition and innovation, definitely fits that bill. This isn't just about financial returns, it's about being part of a movement that's shaping a more sustainable future.
Exactly. So for those listening who are intrigued by Alexandru Meres and his vision, what's the best way to connect with him, learn more about the Ego protocol?
Well, Alexandru is very active on LinkedIn. He shares updates about the project regularly, and I'm sure he'd be happy to connect with potential investors or anyone who's interested. We'll make sure to include a link to his profile in the show notes.
Perfect. And what about those who want to really delve into the technical side of things, the nitty-gritty of how the Ego protocol works? Where can they find more information?
The Ego Protocol website is a great resource. It outlines the technical specifications, the vision, the potential applications. It's all there.
Fantastic. We'll include that link as well. And for our super dedicated listeners, the real deep divers who want to go even further, what would you suggest?
Alexander has written a very detailed white paper. It goes deep into the technical details of the project, and it really showcases how much thought and effort he's poured into developing the Ego Protocol.
I imagine it's not exactly light reading, but for those who are serious about this topic, it's probably a must-read.
Absolutely. It demonstrates his in-depth vision and the rigorous approach he takes to solving complex challenges. You can tell he's not just a dreamer, he's a builder, someone who's committed to turning his vision into reality.
It's really inspiring to see someone like Alexandru Haas, who's not afraid to challenge the status quo, to come up with bold solutions to the problems our world is facing.
He embodies that spirit of innovation, the belief that we can use technology and collaboration to create a better future. He's definitely a leader worth watching, and the Ego Protocol is a project worth following.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll look back and say this was the turning point, the moment when energy truly became the currency of a sustainable future, thanks to people like Alexandru Meres.
It's a tantalizing possibility, and one that gives me hope for a more just and sustainable world.
Now, let's shift gears a bit and explore the real-world implications of the Ego protocol. We've talked about energy as currency, but how could this system actually change the way we live and interact with energy on a daily basis?
That's a great question. Imagine a world where we have thriving, decentralized energy markets. Individuals could seamlessly buy and sell renewable energy from each other, bypassing those traditional utility companies. It would empower communities to become truly energy independent. That's right, it would completely change the game. And think about the impact on the stability of the grid. With a system like the Ego protocol, we could manage energy surpluses and shortages intelligently, ensuring a reliable power supply even as we rely more on renewable sources, which can be, let's face it, a bit intermittent.
It's almost like creating a living, breathing energy ecosystem that adapts to our needs in real time.
Exactly. And let's not forget the potential for things like a universal basic income funded by energy production. Imagine a world where everyone has a basic level of income security simply by contributing to a sustainable energy future.
That's a powerful vision. It can really help address those economic inequalities we see today.
It really could. And that's just scratching the surface. We could see a future with transparent and efficient energy subsidies, businesses embracing more sustainable practices, seamless integration with smart grids, and all those smart devices we have, communities coming together for their own renewable energy projects, even a revolution in how we track and trade carbon credits. The possibilities are mind-boggling.
It's incredible to think about how the ego protocol could change our relationship with energy in so many ways. But like with any groundbreaking innovation, there are bound to be challenges. What are some of the hurdles that Alexandra Mayers and the ego protocol might face as they try to make this vision a reality?
Well, one of the biggest challenges for any blockchain-based system is scalability. Can the ego protocol handle a massive volume of transactions, enough to support a global energy market?
It's a good question. Can it grow and adapt as more people come on board?
That's a key consideration, and Alexandra has addressed this in his white paper. The ego protocol is designed with a tiered node structure, which basically means it can handle a lot of transactions and is built to grow as adoption increases.
So it's designed to scale up as needed. That's reassuring. But what about regulations? Governments around the world are still figuring out how to deal with blockchain technology.
That's right. The regulatory landscape is definitely a challenge. How governments choose to regulate or even embrace energy-backed currencies like the one proposed by Ego will have a huge impact on its success.
So navigating the legal and regulatory side of things is going to be crucial.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about potential pushback from those who benefit from the current system. Disrupting a trillion-dollar industry like energy is not going to be easy. There will be resistance from those who are comfortable with the way things are.
It's that age-old battle between the established players and the disruptors. But history shows us that innovation often wins in the end.
I agree. And the Ego protocol offers a compelling alternative, one that could really appeal to individuals, communities, and even forward-thinking businesses who are looking for a more sustainable and equitable energy future.
It's about giving people more control, empowering them to make their own choices about energy.
Exactly. And that's a message that could really drive adoption, even with the challenges ahead.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Ego protocol, what are the key takeaways for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as they consider this groundbreaking project?
I think the biggest takeaway is that we're witnessing a potential paradigm shift in how we think about energy. The Ego protocol is more than just a cool technology. It's a vision for a future where energy is abundant, accessible, and sustainable for everyone.
It's about breaking free from the limitations of the old systems and embracing a new model that benefits both people and the planet.
And it's a testament to the power of human ingenuity, the ability to come up with innovative solutions to complex problems. Alexandra Mayers, with his vision and his dedication to making the world a better place, is a shining example of what's possible.
He's not just dreaming big, he's taking action, building the tools to make those dreams a reality. It's truly inspiring.
And for those listening who are feeling inspired, I encourage you to learn more about the Ego protocol and reach out to Alexandra Mayers. You can find links to his LinkedIn profile and the Ego protocol website in the show notes.
Who knows? Maybe you'll even become part of this movement and help shape the future of energy.
It's an exciting time to be alive, and the Ego protocol gives us a glimpse of a more sustainable and equitable future, a future we can all be a part of creating.
And on that note of optimistic possibility, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of renewable energy, blockchain, and the incredible vision of one very determined founder. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.